And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is the Star Chronicles Dallas Cowboy Podcast. My name is Troy Hill, and we also have Lisa Lee with us today. How are you, Lisa?
We're doing well. It was kind of a sad day in Cowboy Land today, but I'm doing pretty well.
Yes, as Lisa mentioned. As normally we're just reporting Cowboys updates about signings or what Jerry Jones has or has not done for the team. But unfortunately, yesterday I believe Larry Allen passed away during vacation in Mexico.
Mm.
And some of you guys that are not familiar with Larry Allen, he's probably, I would say, easily one of the top 10 Dallas Cowboys of all time. Definitely one of the best offensive linemen that the game has ever seen. Um, Kind of like a freak of nature. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, bench pressing. What was it, 700 pounds? Like at least 300 pounds more than anybody else on the team at that current time.
Yeah.
Um, and at 52 years of age, which when you think about, when you kind of put in terms of championship football in the 90s, and you start thinking about Larry Allen, the first thing that wouldn't have came to my mind would have been 52 years of age, especially when I'm thinking that I'm 50, that we're both 50. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It just seems like it was like a lot older than that, or it just seems like it
Right.
was so long ago. I mean, what are your
Yeah.
thoughts on that?
Yeah. You're exactly right. Like when they first said it, because you do is I mean, he was associated with the championships in the 90s. So you do feel like it was, like I feel like at the time. And I think that's kind of how I am now. Like I look at football players now and forget that they're so much younger than me. Like I'm old enough to be a lot of their mothers. Like,
Yeah,
but like the flip side of that is in the 90s, I didn't realize we were that close in age. I just felt like because they were in such a high profile profession, it felt like they were a lot older than us,
yeah,
even though they were basically our peers.
yes, and it's just crazy and just mind-boggling. I mean, it's just another one of those instances where you just kind of reevaluate the things in your life, especially at this age. I mean, and it's like seems like we're at that age now where you start, heroes that you might have as football or whatever sport, or and just life in general start passing away. Friends start passing away. Parents. It's like so many different things.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of just hard to wrap your head around. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think when you're younger, you naturally believe you're invincible. Young people don't think about this could be my last day. And my dad passed away. He was 52 when my dad died, and that was back in '99. And for several months right after that, I was really cognizant and really aware of you never know when it's going to be your last day because my dad just dropped out of a heart attack one day, and it was very sudden and kind of like this very just unexpected. I mean, my dad had been diagnosed with congestive heart failure 3 years prior to that, and he hadn't really changed his lifestyle that much. So like how he died was not a surprise, but the fact that it just suddenly happened and it was just that was it. It was just and but I think I was 26 when it happened, and you just, as like I said, as a young person, you do feel invincible. And so when I heard the news today about Larry Allen, I just started thinking about, you know, and I'm not criticizing the game of football at all, but like it makes you wonder, like you see a lot more and more of these players from that era that are dying, that are passing away younger and younger. And it I always wonder, like, is there a correlation? Is there
Absolutely. Hmm.
something to do with like, because you see him, if you've seen him of late, he's still a big guy, but not near like he was when he was playing. And that's the case with a lot of them. Like Jason Kelsey is going to be exactly the same way. Like obviously he was going to be way bigger while he was playing versus when he's retired, he's going to slim down quite a bit
Hmm.
just because you're not having to put your body through that week after week after week. And so you just wonder if the ups and downs of, just the everyday rigor of the NFL, like what that does to your heart and your lungs and your kidneys and your, all the things. And it's just really sad. And it just, the video that broke me the most was Emmett. He was just having a terrible time.
Yeah, see, I've seen people post that video, and I'm just not ready to watch anything like that now.
Yeah, no.
Because I know I mean, I just see, I kind of do the scroll, and I can see like the partial, like starting up the tears in the eye. I just don't even want to even look at it just now and stuff, because
Yeah.
it's just hard, and these football players, I mean, they go through a toll. I'll be honest, I have not seen Larry Allen like walking or anything like that within the last like several years, but I've seen other Cowboy players that was on the team with him,
Hmm.
on that offensive line, and they're
Nate
have
Newton.
hard go of it. Absolutely,
Hmm.
Nate Newton. This is when we watch. Sometimes we get a chance to go down and see some of the practices. And they got some of these guys, walking along the
Hmm.
sideline. Just seeing some of them kind of just like humping and just trying to get there from point A to point B is just really really sad. And I mean these players they put themselves they put themselves through a lot of hell. Is this particular instance connected? I mean, who knows? But I'm sure. You got tread on the tire for sure.
Yeah. Well, and he was such a freak of nature, just athletically at his size and in the weight room and all the things. And like, he was one of, you know, offensive line, that's the offense. Well, either offensive or defensive line. Those are the gritty jobs on the football team. And
Absolutely.
they're not sparkle. I mean, they're not like the fun thing to watch. But watching Larry Allen play offensive line was really fun because it didn't matter like who was coming at him, if it was a quick D end or just a giant, tackle, defensive tackle. He could just make anybody look foolish. And
Exactly.
he could get out on when they would have him pull. And who was it telling that story that, they asked, there's one podcast where they asked him about their welcome to the NFL moment. And it was somebody said, I cannot remember who it was. I'll have to look back and I can report back. But they were playing Dallas and their assignment, in whatever defensive scheme they were in, it was going to be Larry Allen pulling. And he was like, I was a rookie. And I was like, I don't really want to take that if he's moving. Like, I
No,
don't want
what's ridiculous
to.
about this guy is that sometimes, there's a couple of times specifically where the Cowboys would turn over the ball, and then all of a sudden you got Larry Allen chasing somebody down, like out of
Right.
nowhere. It's just ridiculous. Let's just go over some of his stats. Well, he spent 14 seasons in the NFL, most of it obviously with the Dallas Cowboys. I believe he spent 1 year, his final year with the Niners. Well, obviously Super Bowl champion, 6-time first team All Pro, 11-time Pro Bowl player, the 1990s All Decade team, the 2000s All Decade team. He's picked as one of the best players or best 100 players out of all time in the NFL. And then you got the Dallas Cowboy Ring of Honor. Well, you know, which it is what it is. But speaking of just the Dallas Cowboys Ring of Honor in general, do you think there's anything that Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboy organization will do in memory of Larry Allen? Now, granted, we know we don't retire jerseys here in Dallas. That's not a thing that we do. We don't do numbers. But do you think is there something that they might do for him?
Yeah, I feel like opening home game, there'll probably be some sort of like video tribute or something like that. Or they may get permission from the league to wear LA, they might have LA or his number. I don't know, maybe not his number because I think Terrence still wears it now, but
They can still get a patch though, or something like a little
I think
73 patch.
patches, yeah, there's a little bit weird. Oh yeah, 73, not 78.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Maybe a sticker on the back of their helmet or something like that. I don't know that they can. I don't know what the rules are like with the uniform as far as patches, but yeah, I feel like there'll probably be something. There'll be some sort of video tribute or something.
Mm-hmm. Man, this guy was durable. Out of 203 games, he started 197.
Holy
You
crap.
know how ridiculous that is when you think in terms of Smith, for example. And I love Smith, don't get me wrong, but we all know that he's good to have a couple of 2 or 3 games off a season
You're
or
talking about
whatever.
Tyron?
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
mean, could you just imagine? I
Well,
mean,
and you got to think about it too. That I think what even makes it more spectacular is because several of those seasons were deep runs. So, typically the longer you go in a season, the more your body starts to break down just
mm-hmm,
naturally. And so some of those seasons were 17, up to 20 games.
mm-hmm.
And the fact that he did it for that, golly, I didn't even know that. That's a lot.
Yeah,
Now,
he
did he play guard? Yeah, he
yes,
did.
yes. Mm-hmm. Yep, he was
Left guard.
yeah, I mean, he was just he was the man, and it's sad, and thoughts go out to his family, and he's definitely one of those Cowboy players that, if you're a Cowboy fan, I mean, he meant something to you, especially if you got a chance to, especially if you're a fan from that era. I'm not sure if fans of nowadays or that part of the fan base is going to care that much. If or I don't know if it transcends generations as far as the Dallas Cowboys go, but I mean, what do you think about that?
Yeah, probably not for the younger fans. Like if you've only become a fan in the last, say, 10 to 15 years, it's probably because even Emmett said in his video today, he said that Larry didn't ever really come back for any of the functions. Like
Mm-hmm.
when all the old players would get together, he never came back for that. So, it kind of makes you wonder, like, did something happen at the end where he was just kind of soured on the whole Jones experience? Maybe not. I don't know. I'm just speculating 100%, but
Well, did he ever sign back to the Cowboys and retire as a Cowboy? Did he retire as a Niner?
I would be shocked. There's no way he retired as a Niner. I'm gonna look it up though.
Well, because it says here it shows his final year as a Niner, but normally it would show that he signed with the Cowboys immediately after that. But I don't see that. But I mean, I could be wrong. I think it would be odd
Because
if he
like I think
didn't.
when he went into the Hall of Fame, didn't he go in as a Cowboy?
Yes.
Yeah, Allen was signed to a one-day contract before the 2008 season so that he could retire as a member of the Dallas Cowboys.
Good. Good.
He was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2013. Of his induction, team owner Jerry Jones said he was a fierce player and one of the very best to ever step on the field. That's true.
No, absolutely. I mean, even Jerry gets things right every once in a while, I suppose. But I don't
Mm.
know. I don't know. You have anything else to share with the people this evening?
No, it's just, I think it puts it into perspective. And I've kind of been on this tangent for a while. Like, I've been randomly, sending not sending literal flowers, but like trying to send a random text message to tell somebody that I'm thinking about them or I miss them or, because I think we all I made a post yesterday that was in the effect of, we all have a to-do list, whether it's an actual to-do list or in our minds. Like, okay, like when you wake up in the morning, you're like, I want to get this, all these things done, and I want to be caught up. But caught up is really it's like a false narrative. And I think we're so busy chasing a moving target that sometimes we forget to relish in the relationships and the people that are in our lives. And I think this kind of brought it home for me again today too, because, he was the same age as my dad was when he passed. And so it struck a lot of chords, struck a lot of nerves this morning when that news broke. And watching Emmett's video, for the listeners, if you haven't seen Emmett's video, go watch it. It's going to make you cry probably, but it's real sweet. And just, you can tell how much Larry Allen meant to him. But it was just a reminder, like, the next half hour is not promised, much less tomorrow, the next day. So take the time. And if you're thinking of somebody, take the time away from whatever it is that you feel like is more important and send the text message and, make sure that people always know where they stand with you and how much you care about them. And if you see them doing something that you're proud of, tell them you're proud of them. As adults, we don't do that enough. We do that for kids a lot. We build them up, we build them up, we build them up, and then they become adults, and it's like, well, now you're on your own. Like, just, you know, this happened very suddenly. Like he was with his family on vacation.
Yep.
And he's not coming back.
Yep,
And
exactly.
it's just very tragic, very sad. So, like we always say, just like love on your people. It's very heavy. It's just a very heavy day. I've just been thinking about his family, and I don't know how old his kids were. I think he had 2 girls and 1 boy.
Well,
And
the boy, I mean, he has to be like at least in his mid-20s. He was drafted by us a couple of years ago, maybe last year, the year before.
oh, he was?
Yeah, remember? Yeah, because he was an offensive lineman also.
Oh, I didn't remember that.
Yeah, we actually drafted him. It was either
Larry
last year.
Allen Jr.
Yep, he
I
was
did not
drafted.
know that.
Yep, yeah, he was drafted. I mean, he was cut immediately, but yeah, he was on the team. I mean, I guess they were trying to, Jerry hoping that,
That DNA.
yeah, but you know how that's there's a lot of players or a lot of sons in history that had to go through that gamut, and it's okay. I mean, your dad is your dad, and he might be able to do some incredible things, but that doesn't mean everybody else has to do the thing. You can define your own incredible, instead of like trying to live in your father or your mother's path or a sibling's path or whatever the case may be, because some people get trapped into that too, so yeah, I'm glad I just never wanted to. I mean, as smart as my sister is, I never wanted to be smart like her. It's too much burden on the world. Anyways,
It's funny.
Nah, she's pretty she's pretty damn smart over there at your favorite college, Clemson.
That's not my favorite college.
I know. I was making fun of you because I know that's.
I don't really hate them, but like Ron tries to say they're the actual Tigers. No, sir, they are not. They're the other Tigers.
Yeah, and me, I have no college team to support still, and it's probably just going to end up being that way forever. But anyways, sad news in NFL land again, specifically Dallas Cowboys, and we'd like to wish just hope he just rest in peace, Larry Allen, and your contributions to the Dallas Cowboys will never be forgotten. I mean, just a great athlete,
a freak athlete. Just we've all seen the videos of him basically bench pressing a house and pancaking folks and just
making Reggie White look silly.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed those times a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
Oh boy. Yep, I enjoyed those times. Man, one day again. One day. But anyways, that's all we got this evening. As always, we thank you for your support. And if you guys have questions, don't hesitate to comment and we will get back to you. But on behalf of myself and Lisa Lee, how about them Cowboys?